Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're basically acting as commentators for a massive, heavyweight technological matchup between two fundamentally different approaches to AI communication. We are looking at a truly fascinating standoff, one that is absolutely going to define the next era of the web.
See, there's this looming global standards war over how the next generation of artificial intelligence actually talks across borders. And the stakes? They literally couldn't be higher. We've got the Western-born open-source approach going head-to-head with China's state-led, highly regulated framework. Both sides want to set the rules for the entire AI ecosystem, but their underlying philosophies are just worlds apart.
So here is the fight card for today's matchup. We're going to cover 1. Breaking the AI silos, 2. A2A, the universal language, 3. The governance gap, 4. GBZ, the passport system, and 5. 2 visions of AI. All right, let's just dive right in.
Section 1. Breaking the AI silos, the isolated experts.
Before we can really understand the solutions, we have to understand the massive roadblock we're currently facing. Right now, AI agents built by different vendors are basically trapped inside their own isolated ecosystems. There's no standard way for them to exchange messages or delegate tasks. Imagine having a team of the absolute most brilliant minds on the planet, but they're all locked in totally separate rooms. And worse, they speak completely different languages. They can't share ideas, they can't ask for help, and they definitely cannot team up to solve complex problems.
That lack of a unified protocol means specialized AI agents remain entirely disconnected. You might have an incredibly smart travel booking agent and an amazing expense filing agent, but if they're running as separate microservices, they just can't call each other. They desperately need a network protocol to connect the dots.
To be truly useful out in the real world, AI systems have to communicate across all of these boundaries, totally seamlessly, regardless of what programming language they were originally built in. Whether we're talking about crossing team boundaries where you don't have access to a partner's code, or organizational boundaries where a third party offers some specialized legal agent, we have to have a standard way to discover and interact with them.
Which brings us to Section 2, A to A, the universal language, the open contender.
In the red corner, introduced by Google, we've got the open source champion stepping up to break down those silos, the agent-to-agent or A2A protocol. And the secret sauce here is what's basically a digital business card, formerly called an agent card. This lets agents dynamically discover each other on the fly. It's just a simple formatted file hosted out on the network that announces to other agents exactly who it is, what tasks it can perform, and what inputs it needs to get the job done.
So, A2A acts as this universal language. It handles the dialogue, the coordination, and the negotiation between agents. And meanwhile, other underlying protocols allow those agents to reach out and pull from external databases. They function independently, but together they form this incredibly powerful, layered AI ecosystem.
It really is an elegant, highly flexible workflow. Think about it. The agents don't even need to know how the other one was built. They just read that digital business card, realize there's a matching capabilities, and boom, they start delegating tasks. It's totally built for rapid scaling and open connectivity.
Section 3. The governance gap. Why open isn't always safe. Okay, while open connectivity sounds amazing for innovation, it raises some really serious red flags, especially in the enterprise world. Every heavyweight has a weak spot, right? Critics are very quick to point out that A2A's decentralized nature basically ignores checking credentials at the door. If an AI agent goes rogue, say it books a massive corporate trip that gets canceled, or it fabricates a legal recommendation, who exactly is responsible? The core A2A protocol just doesn't have a built-in way to admit, remove, or deeply audit agents for those kinds of systemic failures.
And the crucial point here is that in business, trust and accountability aren't just nice-to-haves. They are absolute legal and commercial requirements. As this quote from McKinsey points out, explainability is likely to become a consumer right, and auditable logs might soon be a regulatory requirement. Companies have to understand not just what an agent did, but why it did it. If a multi-agent system causes a massive failure, telling regulators, "Oops, we don't have the logs," is definitely not going to fly.
A2A might use basic authentication to verify who is making a request. Actually, let me rephrase that. It only verifies who. It completely lacks the governance to validate why. We call this a lack of cognitive authorization. This opens the door for a compromised agent to essentially trick trusted peers into doing its dirty work. So the absolute freedom of A2A is also kind of its biggest liability.
Moving to Section 4, GB/Z, the passport system, the regulated contender. In the blue corner, attacking this whole multi-agent problem from a completely different philosophical angle, we have China's GBZ 185-2026 framework. Released by the Standardization Administration of China, this is definitely not a flexible business card. It is a strict passport system designed specifically to fix weak identity management. Regulators over there saw the lack of international consensus on agent identity as a massive risk, so they moved to fill that gap with a highly structured, state-led approach.
This incredibly comprehensive system dictates everything from discovery to execution. It prioritizes traceability and security above everything else, creating a totally closed-loop framework. Every single agent gets assigned a mandatory, unique, traceable digital ID. It systematically forces trusted identity authentication and secure cross-domain connections by ensuring every single agent is heavily vetted. By mandating this underlying identity framework, GB/Z actually allows thousands of verified agents to collaborate super efficiently in centralized spaces. It's kind of like upgrading from unverified, sketchy one-on-one private chats to highly monitored, highly efficient group chats. Because every agent flashes that verified digital passport, they can automatically match capabilities and work together securely, bypassing the trust issues we saw in the decentralized open model.
Finally, Section 5. Two Visions of AI. The Final Clash.
Let's just put these two heavyweight frameworks side by side. One system is built entirely around communication freedom. The other is built around strict compliance and tracking. It really boils down to languages versus border control. The West built a universal language so agents can talk seamlessly across borders, while China built a strict passport system to guarantee every digital agent is tracked, verified, and audited before they're even allowed to speak.
Looking at the tail of the tape here, A to A is decentralized and voluntary, all about getting agents working together quickly. GB/Z 185-2026 is regulated and state-led, heavily focused on traceability. And here's the real kicker. This is approaching mandatory status from market access. If an AI agent wants to operate in the Chinese market, it is soon going to have to carry this standardized digital passport. No exception.
So, as these two vastly different visions of the internet compete to shape global norms, we really have to wonder, is the tech ecosystem going to permanently split right down the middle? Are we going to see a unified global AI standard, or are we heading straight for a divided internet where Western agents and Eastern agents fundamentally cannot speak to each other without passing through a heavily guarded digital customs checkpoint?
It's an absolutely fascinating standoff and one that is going to define the next era of the web. As these multi-agent systems move from just being experimental into full-blown enterprise deployment, the protocols we lock in today are going to dictate the security, the freedom, and the interoperability of tomorrow. So what do you think? Will your AI just need a shared language, or is it going to need a passport? Keep questioning the systems being built around us. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you next time.